This is a true story of personal and ancestral healing. I noticed it early in my teaching career. At a small school nestled in a quiet town, I was full of hope, eager to inspire, but the moment I settled into the school, something shifted. It wasn't in the students, but in a colleague. Every lunch she would wait until the rooms were empty and begin berating me. She became my bully. I experienced the same archetype play out in every subsequent school that I taught at. I saw a pattern that unsettled me deeply. At every new job there was someone who, for reasons I couldn't fathom, found pleasure in tearing me down. Why did this keep happening to me? Why did I bring out the worst in people who had no prior history of cruelty? What was it about me that seemed to invite their wrath? It wasn't until I began to dig deep, truly deep, into my own psyche and my ancestry that I started to understand. This wasn't just my burden. It was an inheritance, an ancestral wound that had been passed down generation to generation like a curse. As I surrendered to spirit and I asked, how can I heal this? I was shown my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother. She had been a bully. She had terrorized her own children, passing that trauma onto my great-grandmother. She endured it, tolerated it, because she had no other choice as a child, but never healed from it. It was a cycle, an archetype that had embedded itself into my bloodline. The bully and the victim, locked in a tragic dance, playing out again and again through the generations. And now here I was, the latest in a long line of women caught in this web. I could see it so clearly now. The energy, the patterns. Every bully I encountered was just another puppet playing their part in this ancestral drama. They weren't the source of the pain, they were the symptoms of a wound that had festered for decades, if not centuries. The spirit of my great-grandmother loomed large in my mind. She tried to heal her trauma through becoming a teacher herself, by being a compassionate guide to other children. But it hadn't worked. Her unresolved trauma had bled into her children, and now it bled into me. I needed to heal this, not just for myself, but for all the women who came before me, for the daughters that might come after. I needed to break the cycle, to free my bloodline from this cursed role of bully and victim. As I stood on the edge of this realization, a rainbow appeared outside, a streak of colour breaking through the grey clouds. It felt like a strong sign, a promise that healing was possible. I connected with my ancestors, felt their pain, their regret, and I understood. My great-great-grandmother's anger wasn't just at her children, it was at herself, at her family who hadn't protected her own sister when she needed them the most. Her sister became a victim of a family friend at just 14 years old. No one stopped the abuse. It only stopped when she took her own life. In her twisted, broken way, my great-great-grandmother had displaced that anger and forced it upon the ones that she loved the most in the world. But now, as I felt the truth, and I asked their souls to commune, I could feel the harsh coldness between them. It took some time, but that began to melt. They hadn't known how to love each other or how to heal, but maybe through me they could find peace. As I cocooned them in golden healing light, they drew closer to one another and embraced as mother and daughter should. I could feel the energy shift. It wasn't just about me anymore, it was about all of us. Our entire bloodline. And for the first time, I didn't feel like a victim. I felt like a healer.